My name's Shahida bint Stanley. My mum's English. My father's West African from Ghana. My father's side is quite cultural, I guess, that they were born and raised in Ghana. My mum's English as you can get. I was raised by both of them up until the age of 11, and then my mum left when I was 11 and I was raised by my dad. So I guess my life was a bit cultural, more towards my African side. Up until 11 I was like a normal bubbly kind of girl, young girl. From 11 to about 15 I was a bit on the bad side, I guess. I was a bit troublesome. I guess maybe that could have been because my mum left, I don't know. When my mum left, my brother and sister also left, so it was just pretty much me and my dad at home alone most of the time. I was Christian. My mum's Christian, however, she doesn't really practice the religion at all. I think she went to church like once a year. My dad is quite Christian. He used to go to church every Friday and every Sunday. When I was, I think, 13, I started to go to church with him more often. He took it as a chance to try and get me back on the right tracks, I guess, because I was quite bad, and he thought the only thing that could help me was God and going to church and Jesus and things like that. So just to keep him happy and keep him off my back, I went to church with him. I started to doubt Christianity after learning a bit about it. So the first thing, the Trinity, you know, I can never grasp the amount of explanations that Christians give about the Trinity. Not one of them I could fathom, like I just couldn't understand it. And then I started to doubt from the stories of the prophets, you know, how they would describe certain aspects of the prophets' lives, things that they had did or done. Just I couldn't understand, really. That was the first doubts I had. I started researching about Islam because I wanted to learn more about different religions and different ways of life. And then I guess Islam just kept coming up. I mean, obviously my sister's sister-in-law was Muslim. There was a lot of people becoming Muslim in my school. And it was just a fast-growing religion, really. It was just to read about it, just for information. So Christianity and Islam are quite different, I believe, down to their beliefs. You know what, the Christians believe that God is three in one, you know, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God. Muslims believe in one God, who worship one God. I think the way that they live their life is, Islam is a way of life. And you know, the rules and laws that are set by Allah is not a restriction, as many believe. It's rather, you know, how we'd like to live our life. As Christians are kind of free-spirited, I guess they do as they like. And each Christian lives his life in a way that he chooses or she chooses to do so. Whether they choose to be religious or not, it's not really a problem for them. Whereas Islam, you know, we have to live in a certain way of life. So when it came to school and in regards to people becoming Muslim and others staying Christian, there was a lot of debates and a lot of arguments and questions and so on. At the beginning, I found myself arguing against the Muslims, like when I first started learning. And I was just like, yeah, but, you know, none of you was raised as Muslims. Like, I probably even mentioned it's not your culture. Why would you follow that? Do you know what I mean? Out of ignorance, really. And then as I started to learn more, I realized, you know, Islam, there's nothing really bad about it. It's not extreme. It's not anything alien to us. It's something which most of us probably would accept if we used to learn about it. But even then, I still rejected it. Like, I still didn't accept it as my religion. I just came to a point where I accepted Muslims as normal and accepted Christians, and I thought maybe I could incorporate both, maybe, but without saying that I'm Muslim and without accepting Islam as my religion. And then as time went on, I really learned that Christianity just wasn't for me. Like, every time I went to church, the priest, he couldn't answer my questions. He couldn't get rid of any of my doubts. It still didn't deny the fact that I was Christian. Then I started going to the masjid more often. And then I remember there was one particular Friday I went for Jummah. Obviously, I should have been at school. I was like 14, I think. I should have been at school. And I went to Jummah, and and then I went at lunchtime, my school school lunchtime, so I was a bit early for Jummah, the prayer and so on. So then I missed my second lesson after lunch, so I was gone for quite a long time. So when I got back to school, all of my Christian friends were like, where was you, like why was you gone for so long? And I was like, oh, I just went to the mosque. And then one of my particular Christian friends proper had a go at me. She was shouting, she was just like, you need Jesus, how can you go there? And she started insulting Islam, insulting me as if I had done something wrong. And I was just like, how can you shout at me? I'm a Christian, I haven't accepted Islam, I just went to go and seek knowledge, the same thing that you do in religious studies in class, you just learning. And she just proper threw me off. And then I remembered when I was in the masjid, the Muslims were treating me nicely. They knew, you can clearly see that I'm not a Christian, I'm not Muslim. I wasn't praying with them. I didn't salam them or anything like that. And they knew that I wasn't Muslim, but they were nice to me. They accepted me there. They had me in their holy place of worship, and they just didn't care. It was fine for me to be there. So the mannerisms of the Christian towards me as a Christian it threw me off. Why would I be Christian? I don't believe in what you believe, and now you're treating me like that. Why am I a Christian, really? And then I carried on going back to the masjid, and I think it was the next week that I went back to the masjid with a couple of friends, and they were just this is what we believe, so let's accept it, let's become Muslims. So I was just okay then. I was quite nervous at the time, but afterwards a sigh of relief came over me. It was just finally I've accepted what I believe anyway. I converted in September 2005 in a local masjid at the time, Stretton Masjid. This is the masjid where I took my Shahada. It's also the masjid where I came to several times before I took my Shahada, just to get a grip of what a masjid is like. It's the masjid where I bunked off school for a couple of hours and then came back to school and got shouted at. It was quite a big part of my life before I took my Shahada, just to get to grips with Islam, really. Right now we're sitting in the masjid where I took my Shahada. I remember the week before I took my Shahada, I came here for Jummah, just to see what it was like, just to meet the Muslims, just to be in a masjid. Because I've been here a few times before, but I never stayed. I was never around when people were around, but I heard obviously there's a Friday prayer. I came just to see what it was like. And then I kept, over that week, I kept thinking about it, kept reading a bit more. And I came back on the next Friday with some friends, and we were sitting at the back over there. And we asked the auntie to come over, and we asked, we're interested in Islam, we want to accept it, how do we become Muslim? And she went over the 5 pillars with us. And then I think she thought that, because we were still in our school uniform, we were still quite young, I think she thought maybe we was taking it as a joke or we wasn't serious. And then we said to her, no, we want to become Muslim, how do we do it? And then she said she'd done it one by one. There was 3 of us. My 2 friends went first, and then she came to me and she said, okay, repeat after me. And then I repeated after her and took my Shahada. And straight afterwards, I felt a sigh of relief, as if finally, I've accepted it, that pride and arrogance has gone, and some ease came about, As for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he impacted my life a great deal. If it wasn't for Allah and the Messenger, I wouldn't have Islam. I wouldn't have, the blessing that I have now. If he didn't have Khadija to aid him and tell him to carry on taking the revelation from Allah, I wouldn't have anything. If I didn't have his hadith, his sayings, his actions, I wouldn't know what to do. If he never taught us how to pray, then I wouldn't have that ease when I bow to Allah. He's given us such a blessing by teaching us, going through the struggles that he did just for the sake of us, because he didn't get no wealth from it, he didn't get anything from it, he did it because he knew it was the right thing to do. All I can say is I love him more than I love myself, really. I guess the main practices in Islam that mean a lot to me is reading Quran, because it heals anything. You know, when you're upset, when you're sad, when you're happy, you know, it gives you a sense of spirituality, I guess, a sense of leaning more towards Allah, giving you high faith in Him. Praying also gives you a coolness. It like distracts you from the world. It reminds you of why you're here. You know, it reminds me of the fact that one day I'm gonna die and I'm gonna meet my Lord. Praying has, you know, keeps me in check, makes me remember what I'm here for. Wearing hijab, I mean, as much as hard as it can be, you know, in England, in the weather sometimes, and no ACs, it reminds me, you know, hell can be even hotter. It reminds me that I have a purpose in life, everything I do. When I walk out on the street, whatever I'm doing, I'm reminded that I'm a Muslim and I'm here for the sake of Allah. A main part of me being Muslim and changing is reading the Quran and understanding the words that have been sent by Allah, or His words that have helped me through so much things. Certain ayat in the Quran that, you know, you just imagining that Allah has spoken these words, these are His words, and they have so much relevance to your day-to-day life and the things that you've been through and the things that you're gonna go through. It's just it keeps hope. It keeps like a sense of calmness when I'm going through life, really. There's also specific ayahs like in Surah 94, ayah 5, where Allah says, "Verily after hardship comes ease." And then He repeated it again and He said, "Verily after hardship comes ease." And it's just so, it's a blessing from Allah. Like He gives you a test, and with your patience He rewards you for that test. That ayah, you just have to think about that ayah every day, because there's so many tests that you go through that have a meaning on your life, really. A lot of people say that it's quite hard to like learn another language and stuff. I mean, learning Arabic itself, learning how to understand it and speaking it, yeah, that's quite difficult, you know, different grammatical terms and so on. But actually being able to read it, learning the alphabet and just being able to read itself is quite easy. I mean, for me, it took me one weekend. I sat down the whole weekend, I didn't do anything else. I had a little book, it's a tiny book. It taught me the alphabet, taught me the sounds, and then taught me how to join the words, join the letters to make a word. And then from there, you know, it took off from one weekend. I mean, afterwards, it does take a while to, you know, read fast, like a normal, you know, like a normal child when they're first learning English, it takes a while to like sound out the letters to form a word. But I mean, it just took me a weekend. It wasn't hard. Once you do something for the sake of Allah and you have determination in what you're doing, then, you know, Allah makes it easy for you. The benefits of reading Quran is that it gives ease to your heart. It gives you ease in your soul. It gives you a sense of direction. It gives you a guidance in life. It's your guide, really. It helps you with everything. My favorite surah is the surah itself is Qiyamah. I think mainly because it talks about the akhirah, you know, what's going to happen to us when we die. And the main part of it is right at the beginning, where it says, where man will say on the day of judgment, "Where is there to hide?" And then it says, "There's nowhere for you to hide. The only way is towards your Lord." And it's just a reminder, and it just puts you into perspective that this life is just a test. It's not eternal. It's not always. We're heading to somewhere, and we're heading towards being questioned by our Lord, really. My message to people who are a bit skeptical about Islam would be knowledge. One thing that me and my family always say is that knowledge is power. Knowledge is the key. You can't be ignorant towards something and be skeptical about something that you have no understanding of. And I don't mean to get knowledge from the media, the mainstream media like BBC or those type of things about what Islam is being portrayed on the TV, because it's basically wrong anyway. My advice was just read. Go into a local masjid. If you find that what you're hearing there is wrong, go to another masjid. I mean, just in every religion there's different sects. In Islam there's many different sects with different beliefs. So I mean, if you're truly seeking the right thing, you're truly seeking the truth, then keep to knowledge, really. And you don't have to accept Islam straight away, but I would never say stop seeking knowledge. Always seek knowledge forever, and hopefully you'll come to the right answer. This is Safari Mixed Martial Arts Gym in Fulham. We teach Muay Thai, kickboxing and MMA for women, men and children. Muay Thai is the original form of kickboxing, which includes punches, elbows, knees and kicks. So the use of all 8 limbs. I started it about 2 years ago. I think I was interested in various different types of martial arts, but I never actually got involved until an ex-friend of mine did it with me. And then he said that, there's a woman who's teaching in Fulham in a women's only environment, and I came down with one of my other female friends and I started learning from then, and ever since then I got addicted. Couldn't give it up really. Obviously we are the only Islamic halal association within Muay Thai martial arts, where we don't have no strikes to the face. There's no gender mixing in any of the sports, any of the training, any of the competitions. There's no gambling at any of the fights. There's no alcohol served on the premises. It's a fully Islamic run organisation. I had a previous job in a mixed environment. It was very difficult, obviously, wearing hijab, having to pray all the time. I had numerous arguments about praying when I should be working and things like that. And then, I had to leave that job, and my instructor, Khadija Safari, she helped me out with getting me classes started, and being able to pray when I need to pray, not having to cover up because there's no men. It was very suitable for me, for my needs.
My name's Khadija Safari. I'm black belt in Muay Thai and kickboxing. I'm the owner of Safari MMA Centre, mixed martial arts, and also we have a world association. Shahida came as a student nearly 2 years ago, started training one of our classes. She joined a beginners group, which is an 8-week course, which allows students to be able to train and then grade for their first belt, which is white belt. She's continued training after that, showed a lot of determination, a lot of passion for it, and was developing quickly. A lot of students that come, you can see straight away between different students whether it's someone that's going to take a long time to develop or someone that's going to pick it up quickly. And Shahida was someone that everything that I told her, she practiced it until she perfected it. Shahida's also now joined as part of the association, so she's also helping with the administration side. We're in the process of setting up UK tournaments so that Muslim women are able to compete in a halal environment, and we're hoping to have people compete from all over the UK. That will be next year. Inshallah, the year after, we're looking for a world competition. We've already got people contacting all different countries across the world looking to compete, and it's something which Shahida's really helped as well to build. For me as a revert to Islam, it's always really interesting to meet other reverts, hear their journeys, and it's always really important to have Muslims around you. So for me, it's been great to have Shahida as well, who's also a revert, to inspire me. She tells me, for example, I've been learning some Quran with someone from Egypt, from a sister. She's been teaching me, and that was to tell me, do you know what, I need to practice some more Quran. So it's always good to have people around you that are encouraging you to build your deen and make you better in Islam. It's one of the good things about the classes in general is the fact that there's a great community, and Shahida's become a very valuable member of that.
Yeah, obviously. No, I mean like a proper like. I really think that you should. Today I'm moving into a new home because the home that I was living in before is the whole building's getting knocked down, and they're replacing it with shops or some sort. So I just came over with my friends. We're discussing decorations, like what colour walls I should have, wallpaper and so on. The 2 friends that are here with me now, they're sisters. They come from like quite a big family, and they've just accepted me as their family as well. Can I try my drink? This is Sumaya. She's one of my probably closest friend.
I know Shahida through the masjid, through many other friends, and then through my older sister, because many of my friends are my older sister's friends, so we just share friends. And that's how I got to know Shahida. But then me and Shahida got closer than my older sister did to her, because obviously we started training together, spending like almost every day together was in me. Every day.
Every day in the gym.
Yep. Training and then eating and sleeping. But mostly sleeping at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted like a younger sister. She's fulfilled that role. And a best friend. So she's like a younger sister and a best friend all in one.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same with her. Like, not like I've always wanted an older sister, because I already have an older sister, but she's older than my older sister, which is fun at times. And then the times when it's not fun is the time that she's beating me up, and that's not that fun, to be honest. But the way we're both open with each other, that's nice. Like we tell each other everything, we talk about everything, basically. Shahida is one of my closest friends, probably my closest friend. She's really nice, mashallah. She's nice, like she's easy to talk to, friendly. She's helpful, extra helpful. She really encourages me with my deen. Obviously I encourage her with her deen, but she's like the main person in our relationship encouraging deen, and she really helps me with that. What Islam says about supporting Muslims and obviously converts are Muslims, it's sort of like what you love for your brother, what you love for yourself. So if you was in that situation, what would you expect from all the Muslims around you? Obviously you'd expect help. And Shahida, obviously she was close, and she's close to us, so there's no way that there wouldn't be any help for her.
This is Saliha. Saliha is quite funny, outgoing. She's a lovely, bubbly character. I mean, she's always laughing, always joking. She's quite intelligent as well. I mean, she's only like a teenager. So for her age, she's quite smart, I think.
I met Shahida through my older sister, Zakia, and they were friends. And then Shahida came to stay with us for a bit. And then, you know, the whole family just sort of merged with Shahida. So it's like, Shahida, okay, hi. So she's not a friend anymore, so she's kind of part of the family now.
Helping other Muslims is quite important in Islam. I mean, it's a sense of community. It builds friendships, it builds families, especially when someone's a revert like myself. I don't really have a Muslim family to help me in Islamic matters, for instance. So, you know, having her family support me is quite helpful, especially when you're learning things about Islam, when you need to do certain actions in Islam, or, you know, just go into the masjid. Like in Ramadan, it finishes quite late. I need support getting home because I don't drive myself. So, you know, they support me, like take me home. It's just simple things, really. It helps build communities. Islam means to me acceptance, submission, life, purpose. It means everything, really. It's my life. Like I wouldn't have, if I didn't have Islam, I wouldn't know where maybe I'd be in prison, maybe I'd be dead, maybe I'd be a mum on a council estate. I don't know. I wouldn't have any meaning to my life without Islam. So Islam means to me purpose and life, really.